President Lisa Vaganeluri to bring the introduction.
Thanks, Doug. Thanks, Nicole. So I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. I hope everybody had a restful holiday season. And on behalf of the Board of Directors and staff, I want to welcome all of our member organizations and their representatives on the call tonight. It's our first call of 2021. So last week we received some disappointing news that we likely won't see any change in our current restrictions until at least the end of March. We do appreciate, however, being provided this information and hope that knowing this, your organization will be able to plan longer term towards the spring and outdoor seasons. The government is working hard to allow youth to continue to have access to physical activity, and we know that we are at risk of seeing increased restrictions to sport in case the numbers don't begin to decrease. So we want to remind all organizations that we must do our part and continue to follow the guidelines to help ensure sport can continue even if at this limited capacity. So thanks again for joining us on these calls, and for those that are new to the call, welcome. We are happy to have you with us tonight. And with that, I'll pass it off to Nicole, who will go through our agenda for the rest of the evening. So thanks again.
Thanks, Lisa. So tonight we're going to do a return to soccer update, and then we are going to get some updates from you guys and also do some brainstorming on Jamboard, which if you don't know what that is, I will show you later on. And then we are going to talk about the online community stream workshops and the member organization satisfaction survey as well. So the return to soccer plan, the last update to our plan was on January 15th. That was last Friday. When we met last week with SAS Sport and the business response team, it was evident that if numbers keep on increasing, we're likely to see increased restrictions to sport as well. So that is something to keep in mind, make sure that we're always following the guidelines. And we were also informed, as well as all the other provincial sport governing bodies on the call and sport groups, that there will be no consideration of a return to play for at least 4 weeks, and that it's likely that a return to play isn't likely until the end of March. So when we say return to play, we mean return to games of some sort, or that the restrictions that are in place now would be removed or lessened. So changes since the last member discussion. All the indoor provincial championships have now been canceled. So that was with the announcement last week. We canceled the ones that hadn't already been canceled. So they're all listed there. There is now a new frequently asked questions document on our website because the old one was no longer relevant under these restrictions. The old one's still there for your reference, and hopefully we'll need it again someday soon, but there's a new one for the current restrictions. And we answered the following question in last week's member communication. Can players sub into training allowing for more than 8 in a training group? So 8 players, say, on the field and 2 on the bench subbing in. And the business response team said the answer to this is no. That would make the overall training group number higher than 8, and that's not allowed. One of our members had a positive case with a coach since these new restrictions have been put in place. It's the first one that we've heard of since the new restrictions were in place in soccer, and the players weren't considered close contacts. And I'm gonna, if TJ, if you want to just speak to your experience with that briefly, if you don't mind.
Sure. So yeah, we came to, like, the coach informed us today, this morning, that he was tested positive for COVID. So with all the backtracking and everything, so even before SHE actually told us that the players are not really close contact, so only the coach who cannot attend the sessions for 10 days. We still just to be on the safe side, we did cancel the next practice session for those kids, and they will be joining with us again in the next 10 days. So, but other than that, like SHA did say that none of those kids will be in close contact, being with the new restrictions. They are 3 meter apart. There is, and they are wearing masks at all time. But just to be on the safe side, we did that and asked the kids to just self-monitor. Yeah,
Perfect. Thanks, TJ.
no worries.
Yeah, so that's good to know. Weren't quite sure if with under these new restrictions, if they'd still be considered close contacts or not. So with FCR's case, they weren't. That doesn't mean that that might not change going forward. You might end up getting something else from SHA. They have changed the definition of close contacts in the past, so that might happen again. But it's good to know what to expect. And like TJ said, sorry, just letting someone in here. They stopped practices for a bit too. So just because SHA says you don't have to, that doesn't mean that you can't decide as an organization to limit your risk to stop practices for a while, even if it's not required. So with that, I'll open up to see if there's any questions regarding return to play or the current restrictions or the announcement last week. You can either type your messages in the chat box there, or you can raise your hand. Doesn't look like there's any questions. That's okay. Well, oh, Hugh.
Okay, it's fair to say that anybody affiliated to Saskatchewan Soccer, whether it be a member organization like Saskatoon Youth Soccer, whether it be any of the academies, as long as they're affiliated with SAS Soccer, everyone must abide by the same rules, correct?
We are following the provincial sport, the government's guidelines, so all sport, yeah.
But anybody being given the right to represent under Saskatchewan flag must abide by the same rules. That's what I'm asking you.
All sport.
Academies fall under the same auspices as SYS, as Regina.
All sport in Saskatchewan would have to follow the government's guidelines, regardless if they're an academy or member organization or.
That's what I wanted you.
That's
hockey,
what I want you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want you to say. Academies. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll have an opportunity for questions at the end as well. So moving on, we'd like to get an update from everyone on this call if you're comfortable with doing so. You can just tell us how things are going. What are your current season plans if you were having an indoor season? How you're preparing for outdoor, or if you don't play outdoor, how you're preparing for next indoor. So we will just go one by one and get a quick update from everyone. Let's start with TJ. You're unmuted.
All right. No, for sure. So yeah, on the 27th of November, when government came out with the new restrictions, we did suspend or put our programming on pause until January 11th is when we actually started again. We did not restart the programming for U5s and 7s just because even before the restrictions came into practice, we had that as a parent taught class, and we just with the new restrictions we just don't feel comfortable that or the coaches to put those members to risk. So that's why we didn't continue that programming, and we probably will be offering some kind of refunds for those parents, for those athletes. But U9 and up to U19, we're actually seeing very good positive response from people to coming in. They're enjoying it. We did in our current facility, so with the 4 quarters, we actually put in barriers in between the quarters, and then so we divided them into two different fields, and so at least one team can practice on one quarter by splitting them into two, up to maximum of 8 people per the area, plus the coach. Yeah, we have been seeing, yeah, like I said, previously said, we have been seeing very good response. About close to, I would say between 75 and 80% people are showing up. So yeah, pretty happy with that for now. I don't know about the outdoor season yet. We haven't gotten there yet. Of course, we will be running an outdoor season. We're still not worrying. We're just still trying to get a little better experience for people for the indoor season for now.
Yeah, for sure. 70 to 80%, that's really good.
Yeah.
Have you opened registration for outdoor yet?
No, we want to just digest it, and probably we'll open it in a bit, probably after the restrictions are up a little, just because we want to see a little better response. Right now, people are they just don't know. They're unsure what's going to happen, so don't want to pressure them or anything. So yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, TJ. How about Peter from TD Soccer? Do you have an update for us, Peter? Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, it works. Okay. No, we have no real updates at all other than the fact that we are remaining as a FSA member, and we maintain our incorporation with Information Services Canada. Basically now our plan to return to play will be in September this year. Obviously that is subject to conditions and recommendations from Saskatchewan Health, but we remain optimistic, as we all do. We very much need soccer to get back going again and their numbers to increase, so that at the futsal supply at academy we can enhance the soccer scene. So yeah, we're very much in the background waiting for soccer to return to play, and then hopefully once soccer is in a good position, we can then offer our services again as a provider of futsal.
Perfect. Yes, hopefully things are a lot different come September when you're ready to start back up again.
Hopefully, we remain hopeful, and that's all we can do for now.
Yep. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
Let's go with Linda from Kindersley.
Hi.
Hi, Linda. Oh, I think you got muted.
There.
Now
I'm muted, I think.
Yep.
So we in Kindersley had no indoor facilities once gyms were not available for play anymore in the schools. So our indoor season was canceled. I'm recommending to our board that we open registration as soon as we possibly can in the next few weeks, so that we can get an idea of how many people might be interested in an outdoor season. And then we can work hard at finding coaches, because that has always been our challenge in the rural area around Kindersley, is finding coaches and getting them trained. So that's going to be our push. First, find out how many people are interested in playing, then make sure that we've got coaches who are interested in getting the training that they need to give us a great season. Like, I'm quite worried that we're going to really lose momentum with all that's happened. And we've got our work cut out for us, I think, this spring.
Yeah, and we're going to talk on the next slide about some challenges and some brainstorm some solutions. So maybe that will help out with that too. Thanks, Linda. Let's go with Lee from Valley United Soccer Club. Oh. Maybe we'll come back to you, Lee. We can.
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, now we can.
Oh, sorry about that.
No worries.
So our club is based out of Warman, and we play out of the Saskatoon Youth Soccer League into the city, a competitive stream. Our club here, our parent club is Valley Soccer Association, which would cover the rural locations who have community town soccer. Now, our competitive stream, we were able to field 4 teams this year. Our numbers are definitely down. However, we split our indoor season into 2 sessions. And of course, like many of the other clubs, in December, we decided to take a pause. And we decided not to restart until January the 16th. And in such time, it was, of course, we were waiting for direction from Saskatoon Youth Soccer rolled out from the province here. And we were again able to field 4 teams. We are having issues though trying to get qualified coaches. So Valley Soccer is working on some different strategies, technical director and things like that, in order to bring and develop more qualified coaches through the rural and the competitive stream. And up until this point, of course, we are only playing games, but we have dropped off in membership. The community town soccer numbers they're not even happening. So it's a bit disappointing, but we're hoping that with improvements and restrictions lifted that we can continue with the spring season, but we've yet to proceed.
Thanks, Lee. We also have another update from VSA from Cudworth Soccer Club in the chat here. VSA has an indoor season running practice only. We are planning our outdoor season with hopes of a regular season. We are in the process of planning what our indoor looks like. I believe our outdoor registration will open February 1st, so similar to what you said, Lee. Thank you. See who Jordan at SYSI.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so as with everyone else, November 27th, everything shut down. But some of our clubs did decide to do some training under the current government restrictions during December, and then we planned to go on with the indoor, hoping that they would open up the restrictions, but obviously that didn't happen. So our clubs in our zones, in collaboration with SYSI, we have decided to continue with winter season programming under the current government guidelines. We did receive feedback from the our season would have started this weekend, so training started this weekend for teams programming, and we did receive quite positive response from people appreciating the fact that they are able to get back onto the pitch. As for outdoor season, we are looking forward to outdoor season, and we are starting to do preparations for outdoor season. That's it for us. And Hugh might have some stuff to share from a zone level.
Perfect. Thanks, Jordan. We will go to Hugh then.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can.
Great. Okay, well, from a club point of view, again, publicly thank you to the SYS for absolutely fantastic backing and support we've had with the SYS in our hoping to get the kids back playing. Without them, I don't know where we would have been. So we have started our in-club programming. We'll be doing 2 sessions a week for most of the teams in our zone. One will be a skill-based one, and one will be a functional one, all based with the player and the ball. The parents have requested a description of what is the player and the ball. So I put together a handout and put it on the media, explaining what the player and the ball actually means, so that everybody can understand what are the benefits of the player and the ball training. The response has been overwhelming and tremendously in the hundreds. of feedback to me saying that thank me for explaining what the playing and ball training is. We will be following the 8-player guideline that we've been given. We are going to be adjusting our sessions within the structure of the weekly training so that as a technical director, I can then easily put my staff in a much easier position, non-compromising and easily on the amount of manpower I require by having each age group in a area at the same time so that I can monitor then the age appropriation training that they get instead of one under 13 team playing Monday night, the other one Wednesday, the other one Thursday. We're going to be having them all compressed again. Huge thanks to SYS for their foresight and vision of being able to structure this earth-breaking project we're going to do for delivering the training to these kids. So we're excited. Obviously, we are getting people who are worried about COVID. That's an obvious. But we will be pushing ahead, and we will be using all our experience we can in order to deliver a program to our children in SUSC that is advantageous to their development. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Hugh. That's great to hear that you're excited and the players are just excited to be back on the field.
Well, if you're not excited, how do you expect players to be excited? If you can't go out there and display your energy and passion and love for the game, how can you expect players to? And if you can't explain to parents what you're doing, well, you shouldn't be there, right? They deserve it. They are the stakeholders. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Hugh. Chad with Swift Current. If you're talking, we can't hear you, Chad.
Yeah, sorry
there you
about
go.
that. I'm
No, that's okay.
on my phone, so things are a little smaller and eyes
No
are
worries.
not so good. Yeah, we restarted our training groups of 8 on the 3rd of January, with the hopes that we would run for 2 weeks and then we'd be able to expand. So then we put out the call again to see who would like to continue with the training groups of 8. So we are currently running U5 through U17. I think we had 11 players say no thanks. So I think we have 20, I think it's 20 groups running 8v8, or 8, not 8v8, with 8 in a group.
Yeah.
Just I guess a thought that I had for outdoor soccer, basically looking at it as building group, or like for our under 9s and under 11s, under 7s, like teams of no more than 10. And then, so if I have, say, I have a field with 3 under 11 fields on it, capping that age group at 60 kids. And then if we're broken down to, or restricted, say, only 10 on a field, then you can add an extra hour behind that. So then you can break that group of 60 into 3 groups of 3 groups of 10, 2 different times. Because I think we're going to have to look at, as restrictions come or they come off, we need to be able to collapse or be able to come together, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that does, and that's good. That's good planning prior than getting there and then trying to adjust things to fit. So that's really good. And we're going to talk about some solutions. So that's good information to have. I don't think I missed anybody. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for the updates. So now we are going to go into the Jamboard brainstorming that I talked about before. So I'm going to put a link in the chat box here. If you're on a phone, this might not be as user-friendly, but I'm going to share it on my screen as well. Let's give everyone a minute to open that up. Is anyone besides Chad on a phone?
Yeah, I'm on a phone as well, and I'm having struggling. So I'll read it off your off the podium.
Okay, so instead of putting your feedback in the Jamboard, if you're on the phone, you could put it in the chat, or we'll figure it out. Okay, so we got a couple of people on the phone. It might work okay on the phone. You can give it a try and see if it works for you. Do most people have the Jamboard open now? I see a few names popping up here. I'll just wait till a couple more show up. Oh, someone put a sticky note in. Perfect. So what we are going to do here is we are going to brainstorm some answers to this question. So what challenges do we expect to encounter over the next couple of months? So this can be anything. There's no wrong answers. We're just throwing things out there. So how you do that, you click the sticky note on the left-hand side here, and you can type anything you want. Say, example, engaging players might be a challenge. Then I save it. You can either add another one or you can go cancel. And then you can just move it around. So if you're having trouble using this, you can, oh, I see a couple in the chat. So I'll put the ones in the chat on sticky notes. And everyone else, and if you have any problems, just let me know. Lots of common themes here already. And you can make your sticky note whatever color you want. Lots of good responses coming in here. Leave it open for a couple more minutes. I'm just going to start to sort some of these into common themes if you see your sticky note moving around. I think I see 4 kind of main themes. I'll got one more here. One being keeping players engaged, retaining players, getting new players to the game, retaining coaches and referees. I saw referee one. The government restrictions and programming, how to plan. I'm not sure I understand the retaining our current SAS soccer structure one. Financial, there's a couple.
Yeah, I think that's where that one would fall under the financial side of it as well.
Oh, okay.
Because with the structure we have right now, obviously, one of the main things I think I'm seeing is the ability to financially stay in existence with all of us.
Oh, okay.
And that comes out of, again, being a plant auditor by background. This is where, companies need to be audited every so often in order to see where we can adjust, tweak that to help certain things such as finances.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And reconnecting. There was a financial one. I don't know where it went. Is that it?
The top of your middle row there.
Oh, yeah, in big font. There we go. Okay. So now, with these themes in mind, or if you think of other ones, feel free to come back and add them to this page. So retaining players, coaches, keeping them excited, recruitment of board members, requirement on board members, volunteer burnout, planning, and financial difficulties. So if you press the arrow at the top there, the next question is how can we overcome these challenges and prepare for the next return to play? So the return to games or just the next phase in bringing back the game. How can we help each other and what supports are needed? So how can you help other members? What support do you need from SSA or other external sources? Just any ideas that you have here. It's a harder question, hey? That's a good one. Honest and transparent communication. I added one here earlier, SSA to host return to play webinars, including information on the Canada Soccer assessment tool and the basics of creating a plan, because there were many members that didn't return to soccer at all yet. It's a good one. Scenario development, some contingency planning. Think of if there's any educational opportunities or any resources or any financial support. And you can add here too what you're currently doing. I know some of you are doing some really good things to engage players that other organizations may not have thought about. So this is a good place to add that as well. Do you think there's anything that would make your volunteers feel more comfortable with return to play planning? There's a few volunteer ones on the last page. I was waiting for someone to say something about map grant. So we have some financial solutions and some planning ones, but we don't have anything on how to retain or engage coaches, players, or referees. Our board members, volunteers. Oh, there's a couple more. Main thing is to keep them in the game. It's offering those opportunities. Yep. Oh, I should put that on the challenges page. Yes, that would make things more difficult. Okay. So these are some really good. Oh, we got some more here. See if there's a special credit. That's a good one. I know other sports have done that. Has anyone done anything with esports?
No, this is my first time with this one. I really like this girl. I really like this.
Oh, the Jamboard?
I do like it.
Good, yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty neat tool.
It really is. It saves walking around the classroom and sticking notes up all over the walls, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What a great idea.
Thanks. Has anyone done anything with like FIFA 21 or anything like that? Or is anyone doing virtual training? Or competition, like a juggling?
I've done a lot of virtual with the engineering companies where we do it, that way, but certainly not in a sports sense of it. But definitely, it's getting to be quite big in the engineering side.
Oh, okay.
Huge.
So what I'm gonna do, we got lots of good things here. I know I put everyone on the spot, but I'm sure some things will probably come to you after this call. I'm gonna leave this link open, so you can go to it afterwards. Maybe just save it in your browser if you want to, or bookmark it. And you can just go in and add things, and then I'm gonna compile everything and share it with our staff team and see what else we can come up with, and then share the results back to our membership. Does anyone, I'm just seeing there's a couple. Does anyone have any other feedback or comments, or did you find this beneficial at all before we move forward?
There's a little bit about special credit projects in terms of Ministry of Education. They've moved away from it a bit in terms of building your own, but sport organizations have received special credit project status from the Ministry of Education. Like, I know volleyball has a reffing one, and it's just level 1 and level 2, and some processes there. And the lifeguard or life-saving society, once you get your lifeguard, that can be a credit. So there certainly is a way that we can build one in SSA. If you're interested, I'd love to be a part of it.
Oh, okay. That is.
Chad, I'll reach out to you tomorrow and just set up a time to chat about it.
Sure. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Chad.
I just wanted to speak on that. It's Angel Godart from VSA out in Cudworth. I've worked for the Ministry of Education. I actually just resigned from my position in June. There is definite opportunities to create a program, and if you guys want some help with that, I can help with that too.
Great. Thanks, Angel.
Angel, I'll reach out to you as well.
Wonderful. Perfect. Does anyone else have anything to add before we move on? Perfect. Yeah. So again, this is open. Feel free to add things for the next couple days, I would say, until Friday, probably, and then I'll close it down. Or if we expand it, we'll let you know. But yeah, that was really good. Bring up the PowerPoint again here. Okay, so moving on from that, Marcus wanted me to remind you of the online community stream workshops. Reminder that they're all still available online. That registration can be completed through your RAMP registration platform. So we encourage you to share that information with your coaches or parents or anyone who may be interested in starting with coaching. And the member satisfaction survey, I know a few of you have already completed this, and we appreciate that. I'm just going to send the link in the chat here. It's scheduled to close tonight, so if you haven't completed it and you have a few minutes at the end of this call, we really would appreciate it if you could. We need your feedback to learn what we've done well in 2020 and what we can do better in 2021 and going forward. Please ensure that you complete the survey in full if you can. We get quite a few incomplete ones, and some of the most important questions are right at the end. So it should only take you about 8 minutes to complete is what SurveyMonkey tells me. So if you have the time, we'd really appreciate it. Next meeting is Tuesday, February 16th at 8 p.m. So the link to register for that will be in this week's communication. And then events and deadlines. Again, today, satisfaction survey closes. On January 31st, the individual satisfaction survey closes. So that's a different survey that went out to all participant members. So you probably received it yourself, and then coaches, players, referees as well. So that's an important one as well. Then the next member discussion, February 16th. Your membership renewals are due on March 15th. It's important that you renew by that date so you're able to vote at the AGM, which is on March 20th. And watch for a formal announcement to come out on that next week. And with that, we'll open it up to any last minute questions about anything we talked about tonight or anything else.
Before we finish up here, Nicole, I just want to say thanks to you for working that Jamboard exercise. That was a bit of fun for everybody. If you haven't tried that before, it's a available tool, and it's a great online tool to generate some conversation and interest. Of course, I want to thank the board members, Lisa, Monica, for being on the call, and all the staff for being here, and also all the members. Really is great when we have a call and people are engaged and talking and sharing their experiences with us. So we really appreciate that tonight. So I just wanted to thank everybody before we get to the end here, Nicole.
Perfect, thanks. All right, and I don't think we have any questions. Oh, did someone just unmute? Do you have a question, Hugh? Yeah.
No, just a thank you, Nicole, for running a wonderful meeting, and thank you to everybody on the call tonight. Keep safe all, and speak to you in February.
Thanks, Hugh.
Yes.
Perfect. With that, we will wrap everything up. Thanks everyone for joining us and for your participation and all of the valuable feedback you shared.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Take care.
Good night.
Thank you.